Hey guys, breaking news in the David Celeste Rivas Hernandez case. They have allegedly found the freezer that Celeste was stored in. I repeat, it looks like TMZ has obtained pictures of the freezer that Celeste was stored in. If you guys don't know, the more and more details we get about the Celeste Rivas case, just to let you guys know, it looks like an arrest is imminent. Okay, and it's not just going to be one. They're saying it is going to be multiple people, at least two, because the police are convinced that David did not and could not do this alone. They have a second person, and they are hoping that second person flips on the other people that were involved. Okay. But let's get to the thing that everybody was very saddened but not surprised to hear. Okay, it has been confirmed that she was dismembered. She was decapitated. It was just her torso, and her arms and limbs were chopped up. Actually, it was very, very grotesque, okay? One of the reasons people were wondering is, how long has she been missing, okay? The family says it's been for more than a few months. The police can't really get a timeline, but everybody said, okay, she was found badly decomposed, but if it's badly decomposed and it was smelling, how long could it have been? Well, the shoe that dropped was what we all suspected. She was frozen. Her body was frozen somewhere, and we believe that it should have been taken to the final resting place by whoever maybe was helping David, because David was out on tour. However, the smell started, and once it was taken to the impound lot, everybody just completely backed off. Okay. Everybody was wondering, where's the freezer? Well, it looks like TMZ has obtained pictures of the freezer where Celeste Hernandez may have been held. Let's get into this. Okay, so TMZ is saying, and this is directly from their sources in the police, the house David rented had a freezer, and cops focused on storage of Celeste Rivas' body. They said David, a suspect in the presumed homicide of Celeste Rivas, had a freezer large enough to store a body, a relevant fact since her body had been apparently frozen for months. Now, here's the one question I do have before we go on. If it was frozen, do they have anything from the video? Did they turn, and if not that video, what about the video on the street? You know what I'm saying? If they took him out of the house in two. They said, check out the photo of David's rental home. It was taken a few years ago, and it shows the kitchen had a KitchenAid refrigerator freezer. The freezer side of the appliance was the height of around 74 inches and width of around 14 inches and a depth of roughly 27 inches. The temperature can get as low as -8 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes me think, remember how they raided and they didn't find any signs of blood anywhere? Because I would imagine it's very messy. Yeah, well, get this. What if what actually happened is they froze her and then they did it? Which leads me to believe, is David a serial killer? Because I will say one thing. This was something very planned out. This was someone, first of all, we all know that David had a gore fetish. Like, we all know he had a gore fetish, right? You look at his videos, for God's sakes, he had a coffin going around him. Was Celeste in the coffin? I'm being serious. At this point, we can think anything, but all jokes aside, right? That wasn't a joke, but let me just get back on track. Well, let's go to the side track, then we'll go on main track. Maybe they stored her, and then when she was frozen, because he researched, one, how to make sure that something can't be found in an autopsy. It does not escape my attention that what he did and the way he did it, he didn't ever expect them to be able to make an ID of that. And if she was decapitated, does that mean that they couldn't even tell whether the victim was male or female? Does that mean that they don't even know where her head is? My whole point is, if he did freeze the body and then cover up, that means like was she the first victim? He's a little serial killer. To research this and do this? Yeah, this is crazy. Anyway. They said Celeste was 5'3" and 120 pounds. TMZ broke the story that her body was found in a bag in David's Tesla. It was decapitated and the arms and limbs were cut off. So it could have fit in the freezer if the shelving inside had been removed. By the way, they said a torso for a 5'3" woman falls between 15 and 17 inches long and 14 to 15 inches wide. Mind you, they said, we do not know if police have zeroed in on the particular freezer. But as we first reported, the body was partially frozen when it was found. This is after an extended period of time in David's trunk back in August when it was hot in LA. The LAPD executed a search warrant on the home shortly after the body was discovered. Let's also not forget that the body was wrapped in plastic. Again, for everybody saying, oh, well, I think it was an accidental OD. Yeah, and I have a bridge in Brooklyn I want to sell you. This was methodical. This was planned out. This isn't like somebody accidentally died and everybody freaked out and they're like, oh my God, what do I do? Do you know how much effort and energy it takes to butcher something, an animal, a human? Do you know how much energy that takes? Do you know how much energy and manpower it takes to remove the shelving, shove somebody in, come back, wrap them up, pick them up, frozen or whatever, take them somewhere, cut, chop. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of psychoticness. It takes a lot of cold blood. Even if you panicked, there are so many layers to how they panicked that let you know that they had so many times to come to the senses. That this isn't something that happened over hours or even days. This was months. On top of that, I really do think that David did some sort of search to find out how to make a body undetectable, the cause of death undetectable in an autopsy. Let's see somebody go to his Pornhub account. Somebody like literally, but they did take laptops. So I wonder if they did get like his favorite stuff. Anyway, they said there's also a video that resurfaced on social media from September 24th showing David in the house, not his rental, with an appliance box behind him. The box appears to be a convertible chest freezer with a removable storage basket. It has a capacity of 7 cubic feet. By the way, they said the last video of Celeste that we've seen is from September 2024. We don't know if the freezer has any connection to the case, but the timing is off. Remember, authorities say David went to a remote area in Santa Barbara in spring 2025, and that's where they believe Celeste's body was dismembered. As reported, authorities believe the body had been frozen for an extended period of time. Again, don't forget, TMZ did break the story that David took a trip to a remote area in Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night last spring and spent several hours there. A source with knowledge says authorities do not believe Celeste was ever buried in Santa Barbara. They believe her body was actually chopped up there. One source with knowledge tells TMZ one theory is David and an accomplice who is also suspect may have taken the body there, dismembered it, and then returned to LA where it sat in the freezer for months. If that were the case, the question, why did the body end up in David's Tesla? Or how did it? There are various theories, including David was no longer staying at the house because he was on tour, and other people were staying in the home who could have discovered the body. Again, this is just one theory, but we're told LAPD is methodically putting a timeline together to determine what happened to Celeste. Listen, let's also not forget that it was reported that there was a brand new cutting tool found at the rental that didn't belong to the owner, probably used anyway. You guys, there was a lot of stuff. Now, the power tool, the saw, whatever, that I think was reported by Stephen Fisher. It hasn't been verified by the LAPD. I am assuming that most of the things TMZ is reporting has been reported by the LAPD, but yeah, this case is getting darker and darker and darker. But one thing is true, David, no, even his whole tour. When people start doing really sick stuff, I know people are like, oh my God, it's art. But I think we need to start really looking further at it because he had a lust for it. He had a curiosity for it, and I think he acted on those sick urges. But again, until an arrest is made and the police have a timeline, or David confesses, or whoever it is, we won't truly know what happened, but God willing, we know something soon. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.